Welcome to the Deconstructionist Deep Dive, the podcast that doesn't just accept the story.
We break it
We examine the pieces.
and expose the machinery inside.
Let's dive in.
What if the promise to recode your brain isn't a path to freedom, but the ultimate neoliberal trap? So you, our listener, you've probably seen this everywhere, haven't you? This really pervasive idea
Oh, yeah?
that you can recode your brain or, manifest your reality. It's huge. Books, seminars, courses, figures like Dr. Joe Dispenza are really pushing it.
And the appeal is just massive. I mean, who wouldn't want that power? Self-empowerment, not needing other people's approval.
Right, even changing the world just by changing your thoughts.
It sounds almost too good to be true, like the ultimate life hack.
Exactly.
And that really is the core question for today, isn't it? Why does this hit home for so many? What's the actual premise, and why does it work so well?
What do you think it is?
I think it plugs right into something really deep, this need for control, for agency, especially when the world feels so chaotic.
Yeah, feeling like you're in the driver's seat when everything else feels out of control. Makes sense.
Totally.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. We're going to take a really sharp look, a critical look at these ideas.
Like with a scalpel.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Are they really about liberation, genuine empowerment? Or
Yeah.
is there something else going on, maybe a more subtle kind of control?
We need to pull back that curtain,
Yeah.
look at the so-called science, the hidden bits, and figure out what this whole brain recoding thing really means for you.
Right, so where do we start? Maybe with the biggest claim, the quantum model.
Yeah, let's tackle that first. How do they usually frame that?
Well, it's often presented as this big shift, like the old way, the Newtonian way, that's waiting for stuff outside you to change how you feel inside.
Waiting for the promotion to feel good, that kind of thing.
Exactly. But the new way, the quantum model, they say, clips it. Your internal state, your thoughts, your emotions, that's what actually causes the external events to change.
So you feel successful first.
And then the promotion shows up.
Yeah.
It's pitched as the ultimate power move, becoming a co-creator of reality.
Okay, but isn't that, it sounds like a neat way to get what you want without actually, doing the hard stuff, engaging with the real world. It feels a bit like old miracle claims, just dressed up differently. Instead of praying, you're using quantum consciousness.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
And that brings us straight to the first big red flag. We're talking about quantum mysticism.
Quantum mysticism, okay.
It's basically taking terms from actual quantum physics complex stuff like quantum field, entanglement, and just slapping them onto human thoughts and feelings.
Which physicists probably wouldn't agree with.
Widely rejected.
Yeah.
It's metaphor treated as literal fact. It sounds deep and sounds scientific, but it's shaky ground, scientifically speaking.
Yeah.
Misleading even.
And that pattern, where someone holds the secret knowledge that makes the world seem magical again. That reminds me of Max Weber. He talked about the world becoming disenchanted through science. But this feels like a re-enchantment, but one where the power, and often the profit, ends up with the guru selling the secret. A new kind of priesthood.
Yeah, that's a sharp observation. And contrast that with something like Stoicism.
Okay.
Stoicism is all about focusing only on what you actually control, your thoughts, your actions, how you respond, and accepting the external stuff, not trying to mind meld it into existence.
No quantum leaps needed there.
None. So this co-option of quantum, it's really a deception, isn't it? Using fancy science words to make old magical thinking sound modern and credible, like Deepak Chopra has done for years.
Right. And the real danger there, for your own thinking, for your freedom, it kind of trains you not to ask hard questions.
How do you mean?
Well, you get impressed by the buzzwords, the complexity, instead of digging for real understanding. It makes you vulnerable to any nonsense that sounds revolutionary enough.
You stop being critical. Okay, let's pivot to another core idea that stems from this. Thoughts cause wellness.
Ah, yes, the positive thinking cure-all.
The logic usually goes, if negative thoughts and stress can make you sick, and we know they can contribute, right?
Sure, stress impacts health.
Then the argument is it must work perfectly in reverse. Positive thoughts must make you well, like a simple switch.
But hang on, is that really how it works? That feels like a false equivalence.
Exactly. It assumes this perfect symmetry between getting sick and getting well, which just isn't proven. The body is way more complex.
The placebo effect is real. The mind does impact the body.
Absolutely, but it's complicated. It's not consistent. It's not a guaranteed cure. And the nocebo effect, negative expectations causing bad outcomes that often seems more direct. But again, it doesn't mean the positive side is just a simple flip to the coin.
It's interesting how this echoes things like Christian Science historically. The idea that illness is just an illusion you can overcome with belief.
Very seductive.
But totally clashes with other philosophies, like Buddhism's first noble truth. Suffering is part of life. You don't just wish it away. You worked to understand and transcend it.
Mm-hmm. And this idea that you can think your way to health, I think it functions as a kind of power grab, too. Susan Sontag wrote about this, right? In illness as metaphor.
Remind me.
Blaming the sick person, saying they didn't think positively enough. It creates this hierarchy.
Yeah.
The right thinking, healthy people feel superior, safe.
And the person who's actually suffering gets blamed for their own condition.
Exactly. It puts all the burden on the individual.
Which creates this really stark false choice.
Huh.
You're either a helpless victim of your past, or you're this quantum god creating everything. No middle ground.
No room for actual reality, basically.
And that lie, when you think about your freedom, it's really damaging. It makes you blame yourself for any suffering. See it as a personal screw-up of your consciousness, instead of maybe a valid response to a genuinely tough situation or something that could actually spur you to change things in the world.
Precisely. Okay, let's peel back another layer. What about epigenetic empowerment?
The idea that you can control your genes with your feelings.
Yeah, the claim is basically your emotions directly tell your genes whether to express health or disease. So keep those emotions elevated, and you control your genetic destiny. Sounds amazing, right? Direct control over your DNA.
Super empowering on the surface.
But the problem, it's a massive oversimplification of complex science.
Okay.
Yes, emotions and stress do influence gene expressions, but that part's true. Epigenetics is real. But the kind of direct on-demand control they claim, that's just not how it works. It's a vast oversimplification.
It's not like flipping a light switch with a good mood.
Not at all. It involves really intricate biological processes, environmental factors. It's not just about thinking happy thoughts.
You know, historically, it kind of reminds me of Lamarckian evolution.
The giraffes stretching their necks.
Exactly. The idea that you could pass on traits you acquired. This epigenetic empowerment taps into that same wish wanting direct, willful control over our biology.
But it clashes with other ways of thinking, like, say, materialist dialectics.
Which would argue that our environment, our social conditions, our economics, those are the main things shaping us, including our biology. It's not just internal thoughts changing everything outwards.
And you can see how this narrative benefits, well, the capitalist wellness industry.
Oh, absolutely.
If health is purely an individual responsibility based on your thoughts and feelings,
then the solution is always something you have to buy. The book, the course, the retreat, it shifts focus away from things like healthcare access or environmental factors.
it creates a market for controlling your biology.
Yeah.
And it's often presented using that, it's a scientific fact. Bait and switch.
Right. Using the authority of science without the actual rigorous evidence. Like phrenology back in the day, using sciencey language to justify nonsense.
That if you buy into that, you basically hand over your critical thinking.
You start mistaking jargon for truth. You become dependent.
Okay, let's quickly hit a couple more related ideas. The biochemical model of thought.
Thoughts directly making chemicals.
Yeah. And while there is a connection, thoughts trigger responses presented as a simple, direct, thought A produces hormone. B is just extreme reductionism.
It ignores all the complexity, the feedback loops.
Right. And what about mental rehearsal? Actual experience.
The idea, the brain can't tell the difference between imagination and reality.
People point to sports psychology where mental rehearsal works.
And it does, it's powerful.
But saying the brain makes no distinction, that's an overextrapolation of neuroscience. Brain scans, fMRI studies, they show overlapping pathways, sure, but they're distinct. Your brain knows the difference.
It uses similar tools, maybe, but it knows what's real.
Okay, and one more here. The body is the unconscious mind.
The idea that the body holds memories and beliefs literally.
The claim being the body can't tell an actual past event from just a thought or a memory about it. Explains embodied trauma, they say.
But the danger here is metaphorical literalism, right?
Some-
It takes a powerful metaphor our bodies carry our history and treats it like a direct biological fact. Stress does affect the body, absolutely. Chronic stress is physically real. But your body isn't believing a story like your conscious mind does. It's responding to chemical signals, nerve impulses, calling the body an unconscious mind that literally can't tell thought from reality. That's heading towards deception.
Deception 3. The body is a stupid slave to the mind.
Exactly. It's like Cartesian dualism supercharged.
Yeah.
The superior mind must dominate the dumb body.
And the freedom angle, what does that do to you?
It cuts you off from your body's own wisdom, its intuition, its signals, its nonverbal knowledge. You become this manager trying to force your body into submission instead of listening to it.
Right. Treating yourself like a machine to be controlled.
Oh.
Okay, now let's tackle how emotion itself gets framed. The survival versus creation idea.
The binary. Negative emotions are survival mode, cause disease. Positive emotions are creation mode, bring health.
What's wrong with that picture?
Well, first off, it's a massive false dichotomy. Human emotion is a spectrum, not just two poles.
And negative emotions aren't just bad.
Exactly. They have crucial functions. Fear keeps us safe. Anger can fuel change against injustice. Grief helps us process loss. They're not just stress hormones to be eliminated.
So that's the deception. Redefining all negative emotion as stress hormones.
Yes. It pathologizes normal, necessary human responses. It creates a problem
that their product or system conveniently solves.
Right.
Like over-medicalizing sadness as depression.
And the freedom lens here is chilling when you think about it.
How so?
This narrative essentially tells you to suppress your valid anger, your grief, your anxieties about real problems. It pushes you towards a state of blissful ignorance.
Making you compliant.
Yeah.
Easier to manage. Less likely to challenge anything.
Exactly. Pacified, really.
Okay, what about the habitual self? And that statistic you always hear.
Oh, the 95% subconsciously programmed by age 35.
Yeah, that one. Where does that even come from?
Honestly, it seems to be a pop psychology meme. There's no clear scientific paper trail for that specific number and age. It's a vast oversimplification of how neuroplasticity works.
Which continues throughout life, right? We can change after 35.
Thank goodness, yes. So, that statistic, it's deception 5. The inevitable 95% subconscious programming by 35.
Why is it deceptive? What's the effect?
It creates panic, urgency, and this feeling of being trapped by your past, of learned helplessness.
Making the guru's special reprogramming technique seem essential, like the only way out?
It's almost like a secular version of Calvinist predestination or total depravity. You're inherently flawed and stuck, needing external salvation.
Wow. And from a freedom perspective?
It locks you in. It convinces you that meaningful change is practically impossible without their specific, often expensive system.
Right.
Limits your sense of what's possible.
Right. Finally, let's look at the role of meditation as the key tool.
The idea that meditation is the way to get past your thinking mind and reprogram your subconscious.
Now, meditation itself could be hugely beneficial.
Absolutely. For focus, calm, self-awareness, great practice.
But pitching it as the one true path, the single key, that's monolithic solutioning.
Yeah, it ignores everything else. Therapy, social support, changing your actual environment, all the other things that often need to happen for real change.
So the deception becomes meditation as a tool for domination over self.
It takes a practice often aimed at acceptance, a being with what is, at liberation.
And twists it into this aggressive tool for self-control, forcing change, like mindfulness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what does that do to your freedom?
Well, it turns something potentially freeing into another chore, another self-improvement regime.
Right. It makes you focus on being a more efficient self-policing machine rather than maybe questioning the reasons you feel the need for such intense internal control in the first place. What's going on outside you?
Okay, so we've unpacked a lot of these core ideas. Let's bring it all together. What does this mean for you, the listener, trying to make your life better?
This is the crucial part. The detonation, really. The ultimate deception underpinning all of this.
Go on.
Is that your struggles, your feelings of powerlessness are framed entirely as a personal failing, a glitch in your programming.
A neurological error, a chemical imbalance that you need to fix internally.
And, surprise, surprise, the fix involves buying their specific system for reprogramming yourself.
Right, and notice what gets completely erased in that picture.
Everything external, power structures, history, economics, systemic oppression.
Racism, patriarchy, capitalism, inequality.
Yeah.
All irrelevant according to this model.
Exactly. Your problem isn't the system you're living in. It's just your own faulty subconscious programs.
Which is, wow, that's the perfect ideology for neoliberalism, isn't it?
Couldn't be better. All responsibility is individual. All failure is personal. All solutions are internal.
And usually involve buying something. Consumerism as enlightenment.
It brilliantly diverts energy away from collective problems and potential collective action. Keeps the status quo humming along.
But your mind... it's not a computer waiting for a guru's software patch.
Yeah. Not at all. It's this incredibly complex, wild, embodied capacity for critical thinking, for empathy, and yes, for rebellion, for questioning things.
So our call to action here, our cognitive Armageddon for you, it's not about ditching self-improvement altogether.
No, wanting to grow is valid. This is about aiming our critique squarely at that priesthood that profits from making you feel broken.
They take your genuine desire for a better life and sell you back a cage. A metaphysical prison where you're told you're both the prisoner and the guard.
Stop trying to just hack your brain like it's faulty hardware. Start using that amazing brain to question everything, especially the people promising you the keys to unlock it.
Because your liberation, it's not for sale. It's something you seize through thinking critically, together, and through taking action.
And that's our deep dive for this week.
Remember, the most dangerous illusion is the one you don't know you're in.
But now you know. So here's our question for you. What is the one self-improvement narrative you've accepted that you're now ready to put on the chopping block?
Let us know in the comments. Question the narrative, deconstruct the dogma, see the system.
We'll see you next time. Stay skeptical.